Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for January 2nd, 2023. If you're watching in real time, it's just a little bizarre to me that we're already into the next year. We're going to use your Enchanted Romance Tarot. My Enchanted Romance Tarot. You can't have it. No, you can have it if you want to. Look in the description box and you'll see how to purchase this deck if you like it. Yeah, this can also be a timeless reading for whenever you stumble upon it. But if you're watching in real time, Happy New Year! Here we go. Depending where you are in the world, you could have had it already many hours ago. Almost a day ago. I celebrated Newfoundland in Puerto Rico New Year. I remember in the year 2000, I stayed up all night and watched TV and celebrated every single country celebrating their New Year. It was really pretty cool. We were all worried that Y2K, that was it, the end of the world for us, but not. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at your reading for today. You have, the Prince of Swords, the Enchantress, and the Ten of Wands. Prince of Swords not always is a person. Sometimes it's just the characteristics of a person. Sometimes it could represent a child or childlike behavior. Then the Enchantress, the first thing I heard when I saw her was, remember who you are. So a lot of times we'll make concessions for people because we're kind-hearted and we're objective and open-minded. But even with all those great qualities, it doesn't mean that you can't be discerning and really look at somebody and know that, well, they're not on your level. To be honest, they're not on your level, okay? Unless this is, of course, a child and a real actual child in your life, and then there's a different dynamic here, a very loving, like this child or even pet looks up to you like some kind of mysterious goddess in his world, like a fairy. And the Ten of Wands here is this burden and this journey. And in my deck, it represents the twin flame journey. So let's zoom on in, see what this is all about. The characteristics of this little prince is intelligent, cool, genius type, logical, analytical, talkative, funny, witty, charming, honest, frank, and curious. Representing Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Even blonde hair and brown eyes for some of you out there. It could represent your child, a child in your world. It could represent the child within. It could represent dealing with a masculine who has very strong childish tendencies. And then Miss Enchantress. I feel like that's the majority of you out there. The Enchantress she's similar to the High Priestess or the Empress, but also with a little dash of devil maybe. She is a shapeshifter, a teacher, a guide, magical seductress, wisdom, fairy. She's the one that teaches you your lessons. Just by being with her, you learn a lesson. She's very attractive, and it's almost like vampire energy, where you get seduced easily, but it's in fairy form or in sort of a mystical, ethereal form. She's a seductress and beguiling and bewitching and spellbinding and charming and all of those things. Yeah, can't you tell I did that with me in mind? But to be honest, the Enchantress in my name, Cherry Enchantress, is kind of a curse and a blessing. It's it is the ability to attract people, but in my case, it's sort of it's involuntary. So similar to blinking and breathing. It's not something I'm consciously doing, but it happens. And then when it happens, the then it's like, what do you do with this energy, with your power? And most people don't know what to even do with their power, or they might use their power for bad, by try to use their power to control people. So the Enchantress is not a controller. She's actually quite high level person, but and so that's why the other qualities are sort of involuntary, because it's almost like she's not doing it at all. It's like the person that comes near her is doing it to themselves. Just anyway, it's complicated, but the Enchantress comes into your life to teach you a lesson. And if you're the Enchantress, it could be a higher self, a higher part of you that's showing you a certain way, kind of like Glinda. Like, I feel like Dorothy and Glinda are kind of one and the same. Dorothy's taking the hard way, learning the hard way, following the yellow brick road, finally gets to Oz. But Glinda was the one that's like, you had it with you all along, right there at your feet. Sorry I didn't tell you, but okay. But I think you had to figure it out the hard way. That seems to be what you want to do, figure it out the hard way. That seems to be coming out in a lot of those 2023 readings. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of them, but a couple of them I felt that there is a Pisces had it. It was a stubbornness to do things the hard way, because assuming that's the only way you learn lessons. And it's not the only way, but it is definitely a sure way to learn some lessons. Anyway, the Ten of Wands kind of describes that. And Ten of Wands in my deck represents the twin flame journey, which, a lot of people have mixed feelings about the twin flame journey, which is completely understandable, because on the one hand, twin flame potential of the union, the goal to be united with your perfect other half, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, all of the above, feels like the best thing in the world that could ever happen to you. And it is. It's true. It is. And that's why we're so willing to take this journey. But the journey dives into our ego so strongly, and the depths of who we are, making things rise to the surface that we really didn't want to know about ourselves, the triggers, the this, the that, the other thing, that sometimes we start to push it all away because it's too much. It's too much of a burden. We would rather just have a simple life instead of really facing our true selves. So the twin flame journey can be a burden. It can be very heavy, overloaded. In this picture, though, I think it's really cool that oftentimes the divine feminine carries a lot of the weight spiritually, because generally the feminine is more spiritual than the masculine, generally. But and since the masculine is considered the stronger physical sex generally, but there's definitely a lot of strong women up there, that it would be nice if the man physically carried the woman, and then metaphorically is also spiritually carrying the woman because of her burdens, because she's had such a struggle and difficulty this whole time, that it's almost like she's about to collapse, and the man picks up the slate. And finally, after all this hard work, the man knows what it's like to be the hero, and the woman knows what it's like to surrender and release her need to control, because that's what's been happening a lot, is that the feminine's having trouble to completely surrender into their yin energy, right? So the masculine can take upon the yang energy. The problem with the masculines out there is that they've been taking on a toxic masculinity that seems to be rising to the surface. That's one of the toxic things or the things that we didn't want to face about ourselves, that are rising up. And the masculines are realizing what's going on finally too, that this is something that's ingrained in me and has been reinforced and taught over my lifetime and over many of my friends. And I think it's wrong. I think this is not right. I want to still be masculine, but I don't want to be a toxic masculine. So now they're about to figure out what to do with it. So interesting too, because the Enchantress came to the Beast to teach him a lesson. And the Beast, he was very self-centered, selfish. He didn't know how to love anyone or anything but himself, and he barely even loved himself. I don't even know if he loved himself. He was verbally, maybe like in the live action, it seemed like his dad was not there, or he was verbally abused, or he was so spoiled that things came so easily to him. He couldn't differentiate earning things, right? Between the working hard for something, earning something, and then just be given it, or whatever, whatever the psyche. This represents the psyche, the boy in the man. The Enchantress is here to teach that boy how to grow up. But even the Enchantress can say, okay, I done my part. I did all I can do. Now I just have to step back and offer the rest up to the universe. If this is meant to be, it's meant to be. These masculines need to take this journey the rest of the way. And then I think for a lot of people, there's a shift that happens. So on this particular day, it doesn't feel like a day energy at all. It feels like a kind of a clue and a sign from universe, things that will be happening and shifting throughout 2023 for the twin flame journey. I've been on one, and I've been sort of in a lull in one recently, and it's a journey for me too, like knowing where to go, what to do next in the whole situation. And I'm learning with you and growing with you as we go together. So it's a subject that just doesn't want to seem to leave me either. I'm like, can I just talk about crushes now? But nope. This high level love still wants to permeate my subconsciousness. And so whenever I get messages for you, I will continue to give you messages and clues along the way. And I probably will go back to weekly love messages and readings from your person. And yeah, I just feel like I'm called to do it again and to continue it no matter where it leads me. And same with you. A lot of you out there may think, oh, I just don't really want to do this anymore. And maybe Spirit will bless you with a nice, simple, easygoing, deeply loving, relaxing, happy, harmonious soulmate. Which is, can I have one, please? Or because I think you can have a lot of experiences while this twin flame journey develops. It may take a lot longer than you realize, and it may not finally come to completion in this lifetime at all. But that doesn't mean you stop working on it and working on yourself, because ultimately it is a journey of self-love. And I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.